It's long been a part of traditional South Korean cuisine, but now the country's parliament is hoping to end the dog meat trade.
South Korea's parliament's voted to ban the killing and selling of dogs for their meat.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another obscure Asian story. After years of discussion involving various administrations, South Korea's parliament unanimously approved a special bill to prohibit the dog meat industry. This legislation, which received widespread support from both major political parties, bans the breeding and killing of dogs for food, putting an end to the traditional but continuous practice of consuming dog meat. This move reflects the changing attitudes towards eating dogs over the past few decades, particularly during South Korea's rapid industrialization. The new law will prohibit the distribution and sale of food items containing or processed with dog components, as stated by the relevant committee of the National Assembly. While many people are likely to support this change, the bill has faced strong opposition from dog farmers and business owners. They argue that it will ruin their livelihoods and traditions. Like parts of Vietnam and southern China, South Korea has a tradition of eating dog meat. It was historically seen in South Korea as a food that could help people cope with the summer heat, and it was also an affordable and easily accessible source of protein when poverty rates were much higher. What sets South Korea apart is that it's the only country with large-scale commercial dog farms. Around 1,100 dog farms are currently operating for food purposes in South Korea, raising about 500,000 dogs as reported by the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. Dog meat, traditionally seen as a local delicacy in parts of Asia, has been gradually banned in the region, including in Hong Kong, Taiwan, the Philippines, and some cities in China and Indonesia. Lee Sang-young, the campaign manager of the dog meat ban at HSI Korea, stated that our views on dog meat consumption and animals in general have been shifting over the past decades. It was once favored when food resources were limited, such as during the Korean War. However, as the economy grows and people's attitudes towards animals and our food consumption change, it's the right time to adapt to the times. In South Korea, the age-old practice of eating dog meat is neither explicitly prohibited nor approved. It has long been believed to boost stamina during the hot summer month. The consumption of dog meat has changed over the thousands of years, even though most researchers believe that there is no evidence that it has ever had a significant role in Korean culture and cuisine. This includes changes in laws, societal norms, and consumption rates. The practice of consuming dog meat has faced increasing criticism in recent years, with animal rights activists leading the charge. International organizations like Humane Society International (HSI) have been actively rescuing dogs from South Korean farms and relocating them abroad. The consumption of dog meat in South Korea has significantly decreased as pet ownership has become more prevalent. In 2022, 1 in 4 Korean households owned a pet dog, up from 16% in 2010. Older people are now the primary consumers of dog meat, while younger urban South Koreans are increasingly avoiding it, reflecting similar trends across Asia. A 2022 Gallup Korea survey revealed that 64% of respondents opposed eating dog meat, a significant increase from a similar survey in 2015. The percentage of respondents who had consumed dog meat in the past year also dropped from 27% in 2015 to just 8% in 2022. A self-reported survey from 2020 showed that 83.8% of South Koreans had never eaten dog meat. Between 2005 and 2014, the number of restaurants serving dog meat in Seoul decreased by 40% due to falling demand. The government has previously imposed bans on dog meat. Notably, in the lead-up to the 1988 Seoul Olympic Games, the South Korean government temporarily banned the sale of dog meat and asked retailers to remove dog carcasses from their stalls to avoid the offending foreign visitors. This decision was widely criticized by some South Koreans who viewed it as a cultural imperialism reminiscent of colonial times when many Korean traditions were suppressed or stigmatized. This incident sparked national pride and a protective stance towards the consumption of dog meat. The issue resurfaced during the 2002 FIFA World Cup, co-hosted by South Korea, when prominent South Korean figures publicly supported dog meat as a national cultural symbol. Tensions flared again before the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, when the government reportedly reintroduced the practice of hiding signs and carcasses of dog meat restaurants. The COVID pandemic could also be a factor in a recent sharp decline in dog meat consumption. Before the pandemic, live animals, including dogs, were often sold and slaughtered in traditional markets. Since the outbreak, city authorities have been negotiating with dog retailers to dismantle dog slaughtering facilities. Since 2014, some local governments have agreed to compensate dog meat sellers for shutting down their stalls in traditional markets. However, with a complete ban on the horizon, dog meat farmers are seeking compensation plans as this new law will directly impact their income. In November last year, dozens of dog farmers and breeders protested against the bill outside the presidential office in Seoul. Many brought their farm dogs in cages, intending to release them at the site, leading to clashes with the police and some protesters being detained.
나는 대통령에게도 대통령 부인에게도 특히 농림부 장관이나 국회의원들 정치인들에게 없습니다.
The Korean Dog Meat Association accused the government of threatening to crush the industry and of proposing the bill without any discussion or communication with the dog meat consumers or workers. They argue that no one has the right to deprive 10 million dog meat consumers of their food rights and the survival rights of 1 million dog farmers and workers. They are seeking at least 2 million won per dog to compensate for losses over the next 5 years, in addition to the costs for facilities that will become obsolete. The ministry estimates that as of April 2022, around 1,100 farms were breeding 570,000 dogs to be served at about 1,600 restaurants. The Farmers Association claims that the ban will affect 3,500 farms, raising 1.5 million dogs and 3,000 restaurants. Older South Koreans also disagree with the new law. They argue, "We've eaten this since the Middle Ages, why stop us from eating our traditional food? If you ban dog meat, then you should ban beef." They also criticized the First Lady, Kim Hyun-hee, for her recent remarks calling for an end to the country's continuous culture of eating dogs.
제가 입양을 계속 해왔더니 이제 아빠가 너무 좋아하는 거예요, 그 아이들을.
The group argues that the First Lady, who is neither a president nor a lawmaker, should remain neutral as her role is to support the president. They also argue that the practice should be allowed to die out naturally over time given its declining popularity among young people. Many farmers and restaurateurs are elderly and say it would be difficult for them to change careers so late in life. The primary dog breed raised for meat is a non-specific landrace commonly named as Nurongi or Hwanggu. However, Nurongi are not the only type of dog currently slaughtered for their meat in South Korea. In 2015, the Korea Observer reported that many different pet breeds of dog are bred to be eaten, including, for example, Labradors, Retrievers, and Cocker Spaniels, and that the dogs slaughtered for their meat often include former pets under horrifying conditions. This is mainly because dog meat is subject to the Food Sanitation Act of 1962, which simply defines food as all foodstuff except taken as medicine. Unlike beef, pork, or poultry, dog meat is excluded from the list of livestock under the Livestock Processing Act of 1962, which is the principal statute governing hygienic slaughtering of livestock and processing of meat. Hence, dog meat farming is under-regulated compared to that of other stock animals. So, what does the newly enacted law actually state?
성원이 되었으므로 제4차 본회의를 개의하겠습니다.
The law primarily targets those in the industry, such as dog farmers or sellers, rather than consumers of dog meat or related products. Under this legislation, anyone who slaughters a dog for food can face up to 3 years in prison or a fine of up to 30 million Korean won. Those who breed dogs for consumption or knowingly buy, transport, store, or sell food made from dogs also face a lesser fine and prison time. Breeding and selling these animals could result in 2 years in prison or a 20 million won fine. Farm owners, dog meat restaurants, and other workers in the dog trade will have a 3-year grace period to shut down or modify their business. Local governments will be required to assist these business owners in transitioning smoothly to other businesses. The law will also provide financial incentives for dog farmers and restaurant owners serving dog meat to change professions, requiring each to submit a phase-out plan to a local government. In the end, the law will take effect in 2027, and it remains to be seen how exactly the farmers and people will adapt. But at least they will have to adjust to a new modern reality. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time, and thanks for watching!